Corey Joe and Piper with you for Sunday Conversations. The Open, for all intents and purposes, is open. It's closed. The Open is open. The Open is closed. So 23.3 this week. Thoughts on 23.3 specifically?
It was well, this isn't a thought, this is more of an opinion. It was my favorite one.
You did pretty well.
That, and I just like the, I don't know, like, it rewarded you for going fast, pretty much. Again, we've talked before about over strategizing. I don't know, that one for me, it was just like, hey man, hit the gas and see what you got. With the exception of like the handstand push-ups, obviously not going to failure on those, but it was my favorite one.
I think it was fun. I think it was different from the other two. They were more kind of steady endurance, where you make your chest hurt a little bit, but you kind of have to hold it there, as opposed to you only have 6 minutes, unless you want to make it through the 9, unless you want to make it to the 12. So you kind of really had to put some gas behind it. It wasn't my workout for sure. Not movements that are great for me, but I still enjoyed it. I had fun, and I got further than I thought I would.
I like the workout. I did bad on it. I didn't get as far as I thought I was going to do. I knew the whole thing was going to be rough with shoulder injury. Still thought I'd perform better on pretty much everything. Dubs went really bad. I tried the shoes that I'm wearing now that I've decided that these are not just my casual shoes.
Casual wears.
And I'm not going to wear them for fitness any longer, which makes me sad because I do like the look of the shoes. And
they do look pretty good. I like the color.
And I like the company and the only shoes I've worn for really ever, but I just don't like the Trainer Plus. I just don't like them. People have said that with Metcon versions or Nano versions, and they've got the one they like. Trainer Plus just doesn't work. Just quite simply. So I gotta figure out something else. The shoe I was looking at, everybody crapped on. So yeah. So I like my Metcon. That's cool. Maybe the regular Nobles are still out. But anyways, let's talk about shoes. Dubs went bad for me. But I like the workout. I had no issue with it, even though I didn't perform well. I thought it was a good test. I like workouts where you have to earn more time because right, if this same workout is written 12 minutes to achieve it, right? And there's no clips. It's just like a steady advancing rounds. Right. Then strategy comes into play more. It was, except for like your real top athletes, 6 months was hard to hit. For most of your good athletes in your gym, you probably had 3 to 5 that were guaranteed to make it, and that was never really a worry. So for them, it became a little bit more strategy. But for every other athlete, like Piper was saying, you just had to, and you just had to hit the gas. You had to get as far as you could and hope that you got that 3 minutes. I would say if you were one of those people that had to hit the gas to get out of 6 minutes, you're never going to get out of the strict handstand push-ups with an actual standard applied. So then it became rest and try to chip away and get some reps to get a good score. Maybe get on the double unders and jack your reps up. But I thought it was a good workout.
I think if you hadn't chopped your hands and gone to the bar, you probably could have gotten dubs on that 4th round.
Could have got close. And that, like, what he said is exactly what I was thinking. I knew I didn't have a lot of time. I knew I wasn't going to get to that next barbell.
Yeah.
But once you get the double unders, like, that's a quick, easy 50 reps if you get them. So I tried
Speaking for yourself.
Yeah.
You Danielle Brandon.
Well, and I knew those strict handstand push-ups were going to be rough going into it. I told people after the off, I said, I did better than I thought, but I really did one attempt at that heavy bar. Again, I don't think it would have happened under fatigue. But did you start it?
Yeah, there's always a breakdowns when I was sitting.
Wanna do it again?
Let's start over. So the workout? Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do that workout again. I have told people, and I think we talked about this last time. I think maybe, I don't know how many open workouts I've retested, but it's never been better.
I've never retested. I've talked about retesting them. I want to retest that one. I'm not going to. It's not worth it. It's not going to get me anywhere further. And even if it does, it's not like anything magically happens there. Anyway, the only thing that could possibly happen is me injuring myself at this point or feeding my ego, neither of which I need to go into. I did see out of the Underdogs camp, Kiefer was talking about singles. He did singles the whole time on strict and sit push-ups,
Really?
which I thought was interesting. A couple other people did it as well. And from what I could surmise from some of the posts he shared is that they were retests and they all did better.
So they
Doing
did
it with singles.
their first time doing it, they did bigger sets, and then the second time they just did singles and did better.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I think if you're a very efficient kicker upper,
Yeah.
and you like got your hand placement measured out, and you're disciplined as a rest.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person. I would walk away. Everybody has to do it. Singles, kick up, hit one, step, full extension, kick up, do one. It was very regimented. There was no turn around and look at the clock. It was like, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to go. Because they had the capacity. They weren't having to wait.
Yeah.
They probably could have hit a set of 10 or 15. Help, fresh, and hit that. And that's where I, strategery came in.
Strategizing?
Yeah, came in, I think, but for most people, it wasn't really there. So, we're going to have people retest. We apparently had it happen this morning. I just think the retest idea is funny. The majority of people that are retesting don't really have a qualification chance. So I'm kind of wondering what it is, and I would say it is to compare to your friends at other gyms, or maybe another athlete in this gym that you feel like you should have beat, or an athlete from outside this gym that you should have beat. Both of those are ego, and I think I don't want to. There's no way this is going to come off really all that great, but I've seen videos coming out of other gyms. Don't believe everything you read on a scoreboard, even though that it's CrossFit global leaderboard. I understand that CrossFit put out standards. I also understand that standards aren't always upheld. That's frustrating for such a big event. But you realistically, and we talk about signing up for the Open, you're doing the same workout as your friends, yada, yada, yada. And you are, but if you're not doing it, and even if you're doing it in the same gym, sometimes you're going to have a tough judge. So, I would just say don't let that comparison completely devalue everything you did this Open. And I know we talked about, it's fun because you can compare, and then I'm sitting here saying don't compare. Just compare with a grain of salt.
It's well, and at the end of the day, it is fun to compare. And I think part of the thing that draws me to CrossFit, the reason I stuck around is because there is that competition. You do have people that you find out we're pretty evenly matched. I'm going to try to beat them in this workout, but at the end of the day, I was telling my wife, look at last year. Look how far you've come since last year. Because we get hyper focused on the Open and being whoever it is that we want to be, when in reality all this is about being better than you were the year before. I placed worse in the Open this year. All the scores aren't even submitted, and I'm still placing worse. But it's okay because I know looking back at last year, I've still made progress. It just hasn't necessarily helped me out in the Open this year.
Manifested in a specific workout.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I try to look at it.
So, when I went into this Open, realistically, I had a couple of goals. first, which was almost assuredly going to happen, but you never know. Hit everything RX and still have a good workout. Not just one rep, but hit everything RX and have a good workout. Double under sometimes in years past prevented me from having a good workout. This year, they 5 times better than any other previous year I've done double unders. They were still trash. They weren't as good as they were just earlier this week on Monday when we did that workout and I hit 50 unbroken 5 rounds in a row, no issues. And then this Friday I couldn't do it. I think one of my 50 double under sets was 6 sets. Like, not only fatigue, not only time, just frustration that carries forward.
Yeah.
So hit everything else. 2, it was to score percentile better than I did last year. I think I was like 76 percentile or 72nd percentile last year. Last time I looked, I was around 78. I haven't put in this week's score. Probably going to get cheap. Fine with that. I was hoping. And then third, it was to be on the fringe of qualifying. That didn't happen. That was eliminated week 1. Due I said, to the sickness. So, I achieved my realistic goals. I got better. The year was harder than I thought, but I still improved. So I'm good there.
And that's like Mel and I were having a conversation about it. The thing that's kind of keeping me, I guess, positive is I did think this year's Open was a little bit more challenging than last year. And I'm sure some people look at it and they're like, oh no, it was way easier. And that's just the type of athlete I am. We've talked about it. I put kind of a hold. I don't want to say a hold, but I kind of put running and a lot of conditioning work on the back burner so I could really focus on building strength and getting a little bit better with the barbell. And that kind of whooped my butt this year, especially in that burpee. But that's okay. Again, instead of having these peaks and valleys in my, CrossFit performance, I'm trying to kind of smooth that line out to where I'm, moderately okay at everything. I don't have one specific thing I'm great at and one I'm horrible at. So, again, I thought this Open was a little bit harder, and I have placed worse, but
so let's talk about the whole of the Open. And one, I thought it was the best comprehensive testing they've had since I've been doing it. It was not good. I thought it hit all the parts of the pyramid. I don't think it rewarded really any specialists. Not even aerobic capacity, because if you literally the math for a guy, it didn't matter. If you won 23-1, 23-2A, 23-3, if you didn't move your thruster over 185, you were mathematically eliminated on that one event. So you had to be able to move a heavy barbell, but you also had to be able to move fast. You had to have high skills. You had to have local muscle endurance ability. Like it hit all the parts of the pyramid. And I saw a post, and I love the person that posted it. I do, but I think we're thinking this. They said this Open has eliminated the majority of the people, and it's like that's the point.
It's the idea of it. It's not to eliminate.
Like we're eliminating 90% of the people
to see who moves to quarterfinal.
And to give a little bit of grace on what that post may have been saying is that people couldn't do the Open all the way through, like the full workout. No, they could have. They just chose to do RX when they shouldn't. Don't have strict handstand push-ups. One, you probably. I have to say, don't have strict handstand push-ups. Probably shouldn't have. But one, you weren't going to get there.
I wasn't getting out of snatch.
Yeah. So you weren't going to get there. So you got to choose which good workout you had, a 6-minute workout or a 12-minute scaled workout. Those were choices you got to make. If, the barbell is too heavy, again, same thing. And that's 23.3. 23.2, I'm sorry, there was nothing to complain about. From an athlete perspective, you don't have a shot at complaining.
That was accessible to everyone. And I think we talked about it, even the scaled version was, I think everyone could have done.
Yeah. You didn't even, most of the time, you didn't even need to go down to foundations on that one. And then 23.1, people are going to complain about the ring muscle ups. Quite frankly, if you don't have ring muscle ups, you weren't getting there with more than
maybe
two,
maybe
two,
2 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes
I'll give you
anyway.
2 minutes if you burn it.
If you didn't have ring muscle ups. So that was still a 10 or 11 minute workout. It's no different than what you did in any other class. So this idea that you were, and again, you could have scaled. You're seeming to come off as a person who didn't do as well on the tests. So you're saying the tests were bad.
Mel and I had we'll say passionate discussion. I got like amped up about like this whole topic. Because, and I'm pretty sure it's deep in the L1, the methodology even says you program for the best and you scale for the best.
Yeah.
And so, and I was trying to explain to Mel, like, if the Open was all low skill, just grind movements, then me as an athlete, what's the point of working on the highest skill?
You wouldn't get an appropriate advancement of athletes.
100%. Like last year, the first 2 workouts, I was in like I think I was like 78th or 80th percentile. They were good workouts for me. It was like a wall walk, snatch, box jump over, and then the deadlift burpees, which there wasn't a ton of variation on that.
It was capacity work.
It was capacity work, and then the third one dropped to like 61 because I can't do pull-ups.
Oh yeah.
So.
Because you've got the capacity.
Yeah,
and you got
but I
the
don't
grind.
have the high skills.
Right,
So I think this year
Yeah.
was a lot. Yeah, I did a lot better at it this year. This year was a lot more fair, I think, because I just remember last year I was like, I feel like I'm very high for not really doing that much.
Fair, the opposite way you would think.
I
Yeah.
was like, I feel like I'm a little too high right now.
Well, and like at the end of the day, you could say the RX workouts were too hard, but it's compared to what? Like, I know for me, too hard is different than Justin Darrows. For you, too hard is different than every athlete's different. So again, they program for high level athletes, and then everyone else.
Mal O'Brien, who
Well,
finished that workout in 8 minutes.
Yeah, so that's what honestly I was thinking about on the drive over, and it was, okay, we know CrossFit is very secretive about these workouts. They have a very close group on who's testing them. At least whenever they start the testing. Maybe the circle opens up wide as they've got to build the resources, the class plans that they've given out. Who's testing this workout that isn't a superhero, right? Because when we started writing our own workouts for our competitions, we tested them with RX athletes. And we missed the mark on scale and intermediate pretty consistently. And then we started opening up our testing, not necessarily that it was closed off.
We started,
but we just didn't get the right people in here to balance our tests across fitness levels. And I don't want to say that I'm accusing CrossFit of this, but if they're saying, well, Adrian Bosman tested it as well. Well, Adrian Bosman's one of the fittest people on the planet.
He's a pretty fit dude.
Ex-fellow gymnast. Like,
Also, does he have tattoos? Or is he always just wearing a long sleeve shirt?
But so to link credence to maybe these weren't the appropriate tests for intermediate scale and foundations. Okay, I'm not saying they weren't, but I would be interested in what CrossFit does to test
Multiple levels
for the everyone, right? We're saying CrossFit's for everyone. So who's the everyone that are doing these tests outside of just your James testing crew? I don't know the answer. The other thing that I think about, and that's one thing we do with our competitions, is like, hey, try to beat our rules.
Yeah.
Try to find a loophole. Try to game the system.
Try to, I guess, not cheat reps, but like find a way to make this workout ineffective.
And I know CrossFit hides is the wrong word, but it's the word I'm going to use. Hides behind the uncommon movement clause for anything that they want to invalidate. I think if you want to take the sport to the next level, you can't have that.
There can't be.
You need to have these are things you can't do. So, like I said, like 23.2 is the good example of that. You can't run backwards. I don't know if you can. And I emailed CrossFit and I asked, and you never responded. Was staying into a deadlift and going into a hang clean acceptable to start your first thruster? My answer is yes. I don't. But I've had the argument with people on whether it was yes or no. I asked CrossFit again. I didn't get an answer. So For me, then they needed to be better at that. The other thing that I'd say that left this open wanting for me was the floor print requirement and the time requirement on 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we ran 10 lanes. It was tight. We got it done. But for a workout to have that much floor space requirement and be the longest workout,
Well, what's the square footage on this, Jim?
I mean, we're 7,500 square foot. Now we've got some bathrooms and we've got an office, but we've got at least 6,500 square foot of working space.
So if you're thinking smaller boxes, because I think I dropped into a gym in Chicago once, and it couldn't have been bigger than like what we have over there with the ski in the lobby.
Yeah.
And like that had to.
I just think the amount of equipment that you need to be a CrossFit gym and have that floor space requirement. Yeah, we were still kind of spread out. We could have condensed. Our members are not used to working in a tight space, whereas other gyms they are, so their turnarounds are tighter, and they're just more used to it. So to go from a super spread out to a little bit tighter, maybe that was why we felt the unique difficulty. I don't know, but I just think some of the smaller affiliates were really
one lane at a time.
Yeah, jacked on that, and especially because then went to part 2 with a heavy barbell that you could already be loaded, right? Yeah. So that's another floor space. Having all that weight out, more floor space. The fact that you could have people help with your weights meant more people were out on the floor constantly. There wasn't just a competition area. I think that was problematic. 23.3. Listen, we did a no mat rule. I know some people are mad about it. I understand why you are, but also you don't need to be slamming your head.
Well,
to get the bounce. So the way we did it, it made it safer.
Probably gave our athletes a disadvantage, but
yeah. But what could we have done? Like with our mats that we have maybe 2 that would work for a full wall walk, and those would be the wrong line mats.
Yeah.
And they get real slippery, real quick. Yeah. They slide off the floor. Would they stay at the inch markers, right? And then I'll go into this. Where was that on the equipment list?
That was nowhere.
Right? Like, you need to, I understand secrecy, but you need to be like, hey, you need to have a 10-foot
big ass
by 30-foot or 30-inch area for your athletes to be able to do a full wall walk, have it be taped to the ground, and not hit their head on, concrete with a 1/4-inch mat.
And you had to have the tape line, so it's not like you could slide another one in.
Yeah, I couldn't just slide and have that in plates there. Yeah. And again, because of the floor space, I've got to have. We used
7 lanes.
We used 7 lanes, but we used the plywood sheets, so we used 8-foot sections, and gave you 30 inches within there.
Which again, we could have made it tighter.
But honestly,
always concerning.
But honestly, you really couldn't. Where would they have snatched? Right. Where would they have jump roped?
So it.
And not only snatched, you had to have it set up for 4 bars, so you had to have all the plates there. Like that workout may have sounded like a small footprint. It wasn't. It was not a small footprint.
Well, just that we got 10 lanes with the shuttle sprint and thruster, and only 7 with this, like, it goes to show, like, this ate up.
And you need wall space, and I get it. And I don't know if other gyms don't have their stuff on the wall, and they just have their walls blank and everything's in the center. I don't know. But I do think those were some things that needed to be fixed. There's got to be a better way to communicate what an affiliate needs to be. What is a required equipment list and what is a suggested equipment list. And nowhere on there was anything about mats for handstands. I think, why couldn't CrossFit have designed like a mat to sell for this? I'm not saying I would have bought it. I mean, technically, I already spent $3,000, so you could have sent me a couple. Like, you want to program a really difficult to judge workout? Give me a mat that has all those things printed
Or
off.
just like, show me how to do that appropriately. With, like a couple different ideas for it.
Well, and a how-to of how to set up the mat and plates and to keep our athletes safe, versus me just saying, well, the line has to be on the floor. Tell me what you would have done, CrossFit, to be able to have an athlete have an ad mat under their head, short of having full gymnastics mats that are 10 foot by 8 foot, right? Like, what would you have done? Because I know what I would do for one space. That wouldn't be that hard.
But 7.
I'd take a mat and flip it down, and I'd already have it measured 10 inches and blah, blah, blah. I get that, but that's just not possible under that time frame.
With that many.
Without a huge full system of matting, and I think
I will say
that was disappointing.
Doing strict handstand push-ups on the floor without the mat, I thought was easy. And now,
now that I'll also agree with that because the matting's soft. What happens there when you try to create pressure?
So you push.
It's the same reason we don't lift in super soft shoes.
Right. So and again, like there was some ruffled feathers because when you do strict handstand push-ups on this floor, I don't know if our thousands of viewers know how hard this floor is. It's hard. Like you can't slam your head on the floor, but
you shouldn't slam your head.
I would say like I've been frustrated with working on these strict handstand push-ups, but I have forced myself to do them right.
Yeah.
So to do them right, you can't really slam your head against the floor.
No.
And I thought it was easier.
Yeah.
I know there's some people pretty disappointed with that standard. But at the end of the day, and I told Mel this.
I just don't I get being disappointed with what would you have had me do, and I understand that you're not. You want to come in and retest? Like I said, we've got 2 or 3 matted areas. I can, with the space, I can have an area set up for your wall walk, and I can have another area set up for your handstand push-up. And while I can't say that before Friday night because I want people to be here, I want them to be a part of that experience.
If that's the difference.
If that's the difference and you want to retest, hey, I'm here for you. I gotcha. And by the time you see this video, it's going to be too late anyway. But I just, what would you have had me do with the equipment that we have and the knowledge that we have? What else could I have done on Friday night that was fair? I mean, we could make the argument of I could have had a poll on who thinks they're getting strict handstand push-ups and set up 2 lanes that were fully available for that with matting.
But that would have been a problem because
everybody would have said.
Yeah, I would say everyone thought they were going to.
And then I would have to be like, I got to be honest with you, you're not going to get there. And then again, I'm a bad guy, but now I'm even more specifically a bad guy to you.
Because
so
I
just don't think. I get being disappointed. I don't get projecting it on me or the affiliate or the decisions we made there. We did the best we could with what we had to get everybody done in the most fair way possible. I don't think it affected anybody's qualification status. I don't think it bumped anybody that was going to bump. And I told you this last night while we were texting, is we've got people that have basically already qualified, wanting to retest. That is lunacy to me.
Well, not
that is, you just think you should have done better on the workout, but here's the thing: survive and advance. You did good enough. You're in the next round. Your score completely resets. It doesn't carry over.
It doesn't matter, and that's why I always.
So sure, for the global standings of athletes, it does. But let me go ahead and tell you, you're not high enough for it to matter.
No.
You're not going to get seeded in a semifinal. So.
Well, I retested 23.2. And after I did it, I was like, that was stupid. And the only reason I retested is because I was right at the edge of the 90%. And I was like, man, I hope as scores come in, I don't get bumped down. Mm-hmm. Which it worked out, but I shouldn't retest it because I didn't need to. It was good enough.
Yeah, if you want to retest, it's fine. I don't care.
Okay, if you had to retest one of these workouts, which one would it be? The last one?
6 minutes. Maybe I'll hit another snatch at 95. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of steady right there.
And I like your strategy there. I want to muscle up from the first one.
Yeah.
But even more than that, my tie-break time was terrible. I was sick. I didn't have it. Shouldn't have done it the day I did it.
For the first one,
yeah.
23-1. Yeah.
Of not getting to muscle up was embarrassing for me. But my tie break time was god. If I just do that workout with a better tie break time, I skyrocket. Like I don't, and I've done that workout before, and I like that workout, and I've done a much better time. So that one left me with the most frustration. Point two, I look at my heart rate, and I thought I should have done better. We've talked about this. We saw people beat us, and I remember judging them, and I'm like, dude, this guy or girl is moving slow. Like, what are they thinking? And then I look at their score, and I'm like, what was I thinking? Right? Misexecuted on the thruster, should have chalked up. Point three, different shoes, and I'm fine. The only thing that I really am, and I don't know if it affected me, had double unders been non-frustrating, was I told myself I was going to go 3-1-1 on wall walks, and I went 5. And then
it's easy to do that when the clock
Yeah,
starts.
especially the first set.
yeah, and while I was doing it, I was like, I'm okay with this. It feels good. I'm in rhythm. I'm in control. I will go 3-1-1 when I get back, and then double unders went bad, and then
that wasn't an opportunity.
Well, and then I got back to the wall and I went 1-1, and I was like, what are you doing, Joe? You're not tired. Like, let's go. And so then I went 3 to finish, and it was like I guess I technically executed my plan, but it was because of softness, not because of fatigue.
Yeah.
And I had looked at the clock because the double unders on the first set took so long. I got done right at 3 minutes, and I was like, there's no shot. So now I'm just moving to move. And any, motivation there was to move fast to try to get to the strict handstand push-ups was completely and totally gone after I finished the snatch at 95. And I was like, it's not going to happen. And that brought out Shutdown Joe, which I'm constantly trying to work against. But one other thing you had touched on, and we'll just do this real quick. And I sent you the video, and we talk about it all the time.
Talk about Adrian Bozeman's video.
Yeah, and so I want to kind of like talk about two things, and that is one, the Open is now over.
Open's over. Now what
Right.
do we do?
Well, one, write down about your Open workouts. The way that we just did on video, write down things that made you happy, things that made you mad. Let that, just get it out on paper for a little bit. Then let some time go by. Now let's create a plan off of all those emotions that we just had.
Well, it's still fresh now.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it.
Don't wait to analyze it till next week. Do it as soon as you see this video.
See the video.
Then take some time off.
6 business days.
Yeah.
It runs slow.
And create a plan off of that. And then let's get to fucking work. And I would also say, like, I don't mean this if you're competitive. If you did the Open, because there's not a single person that I've ever met that is registered or whatever and been like, I recorded too much information.
Yeah.
Or I signed up for the Open, but I really shouldn't have. I've never heard that. I've heard, I wish I would have signed up for the Open earlier. I wish I would have wrote down about how my Open experience went earlier. I wish I would have created a plan earlier. I've never heard anybody say, I wish I would have really started later. Ever.
And it, like, I even told people this year, I said, I didn't sign up for my first Open, the first two, I don't remember. Because I didn't know the movements, I didn't know any of it, and I regret it. I've regretted it. Like, I wanted to see it. I also got all my stuff deleted off of SugarWOD when I came over here. My old email got deleted, so I lost all my old benchmarks, all my old numbers, and it bums me out.
Also, I don't know how that happened to him, but I don't do that when.
It was so I used my old work email to register,
the email.
and then he deleted the entire email. So it wasn't like I can go back and re-log in.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. So that is why you should never set up your SugarWOD account with your work email.
Yeah, don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. But now is a good time to be, and I don't want to say like critical, but you writing down, these Open workouts were hard, and I didn't like shuttle runs, like that's not what we want, because that's not going to help you. Write down what went well, what didn't go well, But then with that, you need to have some kind of action plan. And again, you can write it down now and then come back to it in a week after you've had a little time to think over it. But there needs to be a plan of action so it doesn't happen again next year.
Yeah.
And it needs to be soon. The time to start working on those skills for the Open is not a month before the Open. It's right now.
Especially depending on how far away from the skills you are. Our skills aren't changing. They may evolve and get harder, but none of the skills are going to get easier in this sport. And then the video we were talking about, we've said it before, but in training, stop thinking about how to game plan to beat Joe Schmo on the workout.
Right. And so and I'm glad we're getting into this. There is 100% a need, especially if you're a competitive athlete, to know your paces. You need to know your paces. Yeah. And some workouts you do need to game plan on how you can go as fast as possible without exploding. But in
order to go there, you have to go as fast as possible and explode.
And I'll say, with Piper and Bryce and all these guys that we're seeing coming in and making quick progress, it's because there's not a lot of, or at least with most of it, there wasn't a whole lot of how can I game plan this. It was like, hey man, just
go.
Just go.
Man, Bryce's first few months here were
I've told people
amazing.
that I did the exact same thing. My first 2 years of CrossFit were basically how short into this workout is Corey going to redline? And it was usually within the first 3 minutes. I would explode. But now I know. Now I know it helps.
Well, it's not even physical health. It's mental health. Yeah. It's what I just said in my workout. From 3, shut down.
Yeah.
Because I don't really train at that threshold enough. And then when I get frustrated, I'm just going to go back to comfort. But you have to push. And one of the things that, we talked about this week is that I was going to have our coaches stop talking so much about strategy during the brief. Just do the workout. You see the time domain, you see the goals, just do it. Go as fast as you can. You want to try to go unbroken on push-ups when there's 40, go for it.
Oh, man.
I don't care that the notes say 5.
No. And yesterday, we did that workout. It started with 80. It was a part of the workout. It started with 80 chest to bars. And then it went into rounds of Echo Bike Cals and heavy power cleans. And Cooper.
You told him to do 40 and 42.
Yeah. I told Cooper, if you don't do a set of 40, what are you even doing here? And, is that a
and
good strategy?
And then I said 41.
Yeah,
and then he did 42.
Is it a good strategy to win the workout? No, I mean it was.
But I'll sit there and say, why is he a workshop athlete?
It's because
he's willing to do that.
Right.
He's willing to see how far he can go.
And again, anyone else, that's not a good strategy to win. If he was in a competition, I would never tell him to do.
Now that said, he did win yesterday.
He did win yesterday.
He dropped the bar. I was like 42, and Luke went,
oh my god. So and again, tomorrow, we'll use tomorrow's workout. It starts with a run, and then you've got strict pull-ups, strict handstand push-ups, ab mat sit-ups, and then it finishes with a run. Dude, send that run.
I was going to say, I'll tell you in the notes. It doesn't say to send the run.
No, but most people should.
We'd get way more out of it if they sent the run.
Oh,
and
yeah.
got capped.
Well, and just see what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens. Or if the workout starts, if it's, 7 rounds of 15 cal echo bike and 5 squat cleans. Just be reckless on the bike and then see what happens on the squat cleans. It's not going to go well. It's not going to feel good, but it's going to be a lot more valuable than, I got to hold it at a 62 cadence and I'm going to do singles on all these with 13 seconds of rest between each rep. If that's what you do every time, you're not getting better.
You also learn your general paces on machines.
Oh, yeah.
I know if I want to make a bike hurt, hold that 68, and I can hold that for an 8 cal, 12 cal bike. But if I for 16, hold it under 65. And then even sometimes I'm like, you know what? It's only 2 rounds.
How bad could it be?
Yeah.
Let's get
Go
off.
I think when we talk about gears and all that other stuff, to me, it matters on the machines. You'll find your gears and you'll be able to apply them in all the other movements, but get on a machine and develop gears. For your extra work, for your training, the gears will come but just do the Mekon and just send it.
Yeah, just go hard. Don't worry about pace. Don't worry about how you're gonna, or don't even go into it without a plan. Don't think about how you're gonna break any of it up. Yeah. Send it and then see what you're able to do.
Shut your brain off after the strategy, after the briefing, after the layout of all the equipment.
Yeah, after you hear what we say,
we're gonna tell you, hey, 2 minutes till we start this workout. Go to the bathroom. Right then, brain off.
Turn it off and just hammer it. And again, this isn't every day. Don't come in 7 days a week and do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least 1 day a week.
At least 1 day a week, you need to.
And I would say don't let the workout choose which day that is. Say on Tuesday I redline.
Yeah. Don't look at the workouts. Say on Tuesday, no matter what the workout is, I'm gonna set myself up for.
Because it's gonna go bad sometimes. It may be a 30-minute workout on Tuesday, and we have no idea.
You can find out.
You'll find out, and you're gonna find a way to get buried and claw your way out.
I did that Friday. Everybody was like, "Oh, how are you breaking up these snatches? How are you gonna break
wall
walks?" I was like, "I don't know, man.
We're just gonna go.
I got a picture of you taking a little nap on the floor.
Oh,
So.
yeah. I do my lay down on the wall walks, but
you shut your brain off too hard.
Well, it's not like I know I can do 5 unbroken, so I can't do 5 unbroken. Yeah. But I'm just gonna be like, well, we'll see how long I need to rest. Yeah. It's like, how are you gonna do your snatches? I'm like, I don't know. I might do 8. I might do 4. I might do 3. I don't know.
I jokingly tell my classes every day. I'm like, hey, today might be a good day to send it. Every now and then you just need to send it.
Yep.
All the way.
Yep. All right, good chat. You guys got anything else? I was, well, we didn't have any comments, so we didn't start there.
Comment on our videos. We're sick of making up our own topics.
The other thing I was hoping to do, which we don't have enough time, but we'll try to do this next week, is we were talking about the sugar watt thing and our ability to program for everybody. So I was thinking we can choose one of us and just choose a random workout and be like, all right, how would we adjust that for you? And just kind of show what we're talking about.
Ooh, make it me. I want to be me. You guys have to do it for me.
So figure that out and kind of give people an example of what we're talking about there. You're still in class, still have the same stimulus and goals overall metabolically, but then, and I think what the unfortunate part is this undercuts what we just said about just sending it, right? But you don't know what note we're going to say for you, right? I over strategize. So for me, it's going to be go hard, send it. Maybe it's choose a rep scheme that's absolutely unbroken every time, no matter what. And then you only can rest on the transitions, and it can only be 10 seconds, right? And we've had some workouts like that from underdogs where the shuttle run muscle up GHD. It was like you cannot take more than 10 seconds between movements and choose an unbroken rep scheme, right? And so that's something to fix me. Maybe somebody else, we need to add in some high skills under fatigue, but at lower reps. And so I think showing people an example of what we're talking about, we do the best we can inside on person, but that's not scalable up. In the time domain that we get asked, I think we're really good at it, but we cannot do that if everybody wanted to. We have to have more time.
Well, and we could give you even more thought.
Yeah.
Even more, like a more deliberate scaling.
Yeah, you asked me when I tell you 2 minutes before the workout, like, I'm really trying, but you're putting a cap on my ability to come up with a good idea. Yeah. So, all right. That will be hopefully next week. Again, if you guys have something you want us to talk about, please comment, or otherwise let us know. Like, subscribe, share with friends.
You already said that, but I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want to hear.